Welcome to our Child Safe Coach Induction presentation. The aim here is to produce a resource that supports clubs to upskill coaches in their responsibility towards ensuring kids are safe when engaging with football. Northern New South Wales Football acknowledges the Awabakal people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. We recognise the continuing connection of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to the sky, land and waters, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. My name is Philip Andrews. I am the Club Development Officer at Northern New South Wales Football. I've been in this position for the last 5 years and have made some solid connections during that time with a lot of clubs, and I think this resource can be a valuable one to help those clubs move forward. We'll be covering a range of topics, starting with some background information on some of the legislated requirements that clubs need to work through, and moving into some more specific strategies to support the coaches in their roles. Whenever I refer to children, I am including children, that's those people under 18, young people and vulnerable people from our community. Much of the dialogue around Child Safe comes from findings from the Royal Commission into the Abuse of Children in 2012. Our job in community sport is to ensure the environment in which we invite children is always safe and that informed decisions are made to ensure that safety. Children are vulnerable to predation, and their safety and best interests must be at the centre of our practices and procedures. Northern New South Wales Football works closely with the New South Wales Office of Sport and the Office of Children's Guardian to provide clubs with the tools and resources required to develop child-safe practices. The New South Wales Working with Children Check legislation was developed in 2013 from the Royal Commission into the Abuse of Children and is a check into the background of an individual person. The Working with Children Check legislation has really not been changed since its inception. The Working with Children Check is a brief online application through the Kids Guardian website, followed by an in-person proof of ID presentation at the Service New South Wales shop front. If you are reimbursed or paid for your role as a coach, you must obtain a paid Working with Children Check. Working with Children Check will last for 5 years. We will continue to work with club committees to evolve procedures and practices that develop child-safe practices. The Working with Children Check is one very small strategy that keeps known offenders from accessing children through football clubs. Let's talk briefly about types of abuse you might come across in the kids you are working with. Risk of harm or abuse is categorised into 4 groups: physical, emotional, sexual abuse, as well as neglect. The next 4 slides is designed just to raise the importance of your role and does not provide an extensive overview of abuse. Physical abuse can be identified through bruises or marks on the body, often covered up with long sleeves or pants. You may also see it as unwarranted aggression, tantrums, and possibly as distracted performance. Sudden outbursts may be an indicator of sexual abuse. Depending on the age group, you may witness inappropriate sexualised talk or behaviour, or over-affectionate behaviour in younger children. A child acting out in response to sexual abuse may be detrimental to the culture of your team, and therefore a coach is likely to be taking steps to correct. But we need to ensure the welfare of the individual is paramount to any intervention. Emotional abuse in relation to your role may be when parents use football training and game days as a reward for behaviour, but then withdraw the child when their behaviour does not meet the parents' expectations. Repeated absence from training or games without notification may be an indicator of emotional abuse and may require you to consult with the club's MPIO, registrar or secretary to seek support in rectifying the issue and creating a pathway to support the child and family. We may witness aggressive behaviour or attention-seeking behaviour, maybe stealing or maybe not having the gear organised to participate in football. In many cases of neglect, there is a fine line between real neglect and a family that is working through difficult times and really may appreciate some support. In developing our skills as a coach, we should take time to reflect on each session and be prepared to make changes aimed at improvement for future sessions. Make notes, if necessary, on observations. The notes may build a profile that allows you to identify abuse or simply improve outcomes for the children and ultimately your team. Speak up and seek the support of your club if required. If in doubt about a child welfare issue, call the police assistance line. They will offer advice about whether a report is warranted. Volunteers, including coaches, must register on Play Football. This is an agreement that all member federations have with Football Australia. All registered participants are insured and can receive information directly related to their role. Within the terms and conditions on Play Football, an agreement to abide by the Football Australia Code of Conduct and the Football Australia Member Protection Framework. These two policies should guide practice and support clubs in developing positive culture. We will talk through 4 child-safe principles of coaching. You will have met the working with children check requirements in your club, registered on Play Football. The age group of the children that you are working with will dictate some of the child-safe strategies that will need to be adopted. As a coach, there is an expectation that you will take steps to minimise risks, including an understanding of some of the policies, including heat and lightning policies. You must never train alone and should be training at the designated place and time as set out by your club. Check that the playing surface is free from objects that may harm. Also ensure equipment is used as intended and safely. Has someone checked the toilets are safe and free from sharps, especially if they are publicly accessible? Have a plan for toilet breaks, especially when coaching young kids, which becomes more important if you can't see the entrance to the toilet and potentially who else may be in that area. Never allow young children to leave the session alone. Know who your parents are and who you can turn to for assistance when needed. Have expectations that align with the age and grade that kids are playing in. This will be reflected in the skills drills that players are expected to complete in each session. Have a plan for each session. It is important to understand and follow your club's policy on position rotation and equitable game time, and then ensure you're on the same page as your parents. Try and have this discussion before the season kicks off and get everybody working together. Northern New South Wales Football is committed to delivering numerous opportunities each year for coaches to complete courses, improve their skills and ultimately enhance the outcomes for players. Coach Headquarters on Northern New South Wales Football website has coaching ideas for you to use in building a training session. Clubs are urged to have a registered and trained club coach coordinator who can be called on to provide support in developing skills in coaches. Reality is that parents of children playing community sport have different expectations. Football is no different. We have all met the parents who expect their child to score 4 goals every weekend, often records it on the phone for Facebook, and may offer quiet advice for the coach when their child is asked to take their turn in goals. At the other end, we have parents who genuinely enjoy watching their child just get a kick. One tough part of coaching is understanding what success looks like for each individual, aligning it to parent expectations, but always taking the time to celebrate that success. It is important to talk with parents and, I guess, age dependent, talking with the child to gain an understanding of the outcomes that they are pursuing. It is important for coaches to support child-safe practices and risk mitigation strategies already in place in clubs. Register on Play Football then you are insured. Is the surface safe? Are the lights adequate? Could equipment usage injure somebody? Are the goals unweighted? May they topple over onto a child? If something is unsafe, report it to your club and then expect an outcome. Again, I urge you to ensure you never find yourself alone with children, but find ways of including other adults or the group of players in the conversation. It is important for coaches to support child-safe practices and risk mitigation strategies already in place in clubs. Register on play football. You are insured. Is the surface safe? Are the lights adequate? Could equipment usage injure someone? Ensure you know the key people in the club related to your role. Volunteer induction days are fantastic for this. As a new coach, the club coach coordinator should be a valuable resource. You need to know who this person is. The club coach coordinator may also offer advice on coaching courses. You need to know who to turn to when reporting risks, recording incidents, especially injuries. Take every opportunity to train alongside another team of similar age or ability. You might learn some techniques from the other coach, they might learn from you. The training has to be fun. Kids learn through play, so it makes sense to have enough kids together to conclude every training session with some game-based play. Never get in a position to be one-to-one with a child. Have the one-to-one conversation, including the team manager or a parent. Avoid being around kids getting changed. Keep out of change rooms, but have expectations on their behaviour in the change rooms. Discuss with your club about players keeping their shirts to arrive ready to play. If coaching youth-aged players, you need to be firm around mobile phones and have expectations around when they get put away prior to games or training. Definitely discuss boundaries of mobile phones in change rooms. These players need to agree to the club's social media policy. A brief social media statement sits in the Football Australia Member Protection Framework if your club does not have one already. Communication must be transparent. TEAMAPP is a free, simple to use communication tool. If your club uses it, you should be using it within the structure provided. If setting a page up for your own team, you should be transparent and invite a committee member to join as well. It should be used so that the entire group is sent the same messages. Invite youth age players, their parents and any other key people to join the group and receive the group messages. Coach education, information and coaching support materials are all located on the Northern New South Wales Football website under Coach Headquarters. Play by the Rules and Sport Integrity Australia have a number of free relevant online courses available for coaches and also for volunteers. The inclusive coaching course was added not long ago and provides some great content related to your role, especially when coaching mixed gender teams or including kids with needs. The Play by the Rules child protection training is excellent. As you complete the course, hopefully you'll begin to question your own practices and may just begin to question the overall child safe procedures in place in your club. Keep safety at the front of mind when working with children. Look after the children and just as importantly, look after yourself.